Well, hello, boys and girls. This is Mr. Rousson again. I hope that you are doing well. And are you ready for another science lesson? I am. This is our third lesson reviewing before we take the assessment. And I would like to go over the learning target. Okay? It's going to be a learning target that we've already done. This one has a little variation, so pay attention to this. It is about photosynthesis, but it's not just I can explain the process of photosynthesis. So our learning target today is I can apply what I know about photosynthesis to a real life situation. So you're going to take the knowledge that you have about photosynthesis, and where you're given a situation that involves plants and sunlight and all of that, then you're going to have to make a judgment. You're going to have to decide what is happening there, because now you know a lot about photosynthesis, okay? So again, our learning target is I can apply what I know about photosynthesis to a real life situation, okay? Are you ready? Let me tell you what you need. You are going to need your science notebook or your science binder. If you are at home and you're using Google Docs, then you're going to need a Google Doc open, okay? And hopefully, I hope that you have been saving your information, whether it is in the science notebooks or the binders, or whether are your Google Docs, so that you can go back and study for your test, for your assessment that is coming after this lesson, okay? So make sure that you are saving all of those notes that you take and all of those explanations that you give throughout all the lessons. So today you're going to need that, and if you are using your notebook or your binder, you are going to need a pencil, all right? So if you don't have one, make sure that you go get one right now, okay? Yes? Okay. So let's do a quick review about photosynthesis. And let me ask you, I mean, we have done songs, we've done many lessons, we've done models, we've done a lot with photosynthesis. So what is photosynthesis? Let me give you about 30 seconds to answer that question. What is photosynthesis? And if you are with other students in a breakout room, or if you are by yourself, just go through your notes. What is photosynthesis? Answer that question. That's right. It is the process in which plants make their own food. How do we call that food that plants make? Do you remember? How do we call that food that plants make? Remember, I showed you a bag and I said it's not really this, but it's the same name. Do you remember? That's right, sugar. But the fancy name, the scientific name, is glucose. Okay, that is the food that plants make. What ingredients do plants need to make their food in that process called photosynthesis? Do you remember those? And try to think of the song or the poem that you created or the one that you heard from Mr. King. So first, that's right, sunlight. Because everything on our planet, every living organism needs sunlight, the energy from the sun to be able to grow. And then we need water that the plants get through their roots. We need carbon dioxide that plants get from the air. And they need the chlorophyll that is in the leaves of the plants, the chlorophyll. So once they have all of those ingredients, they put all of that together and they come up with, what's the word that starts with a G? Glucose. That is right. And then plants use a lot for themselves to grow, and animals and humans use what plants don't use. Aren't we lucky that we get to have our food made for us? Right? We just have to cook it. Or sometimes we eat it raw, like if we're eating lettuce or if we're eating a tomato or apples, we just eat it raw. But it's already made for us. So today, I want you to think about this situation. I'm going to give it to you, and then you are going to take a few minutes to explain what would happen. Okay, so I have two plants right here. You see? One plant, two plants. They are the same type of plant, and they are about the same size. You see? About the same size. This is the situation that I want to give you. If I took this plant, okay, one of them, and I put it right here on the windowsill, you see there's a lot of light coming in, and I took this one, okay, you see the plant right over here on my windowsill. Do you see it? Do you see it? Yep, right there. And if I took the other plant and I covered it up with a box, in this case I'm going to cover it up with this bucket, okay, and I'm going to give it water every day. I'm going to take the bucket out for just a moment to put water, the same amount of water on, I'm going to put the same amount of water in both plants, okay? But this one here is covered, and that one over there, it's not. So my question to you is, what do you think would happen? Okay? What do you think would happen? And explain your reasoning. Explain your thinking. Why do you think that that would happen? Okay? I'm going to ask you one more time. So, what do you think could happen? I have one plant over there by the window, one under the box. What do you think would happen? And then explain your reasoning. If you are by yourself, then go ahead and think about it and start writing. If you have other students around you, you can have a little discussion and then start the writing. If you are in a breakout room, you can discuss it with your classmates and then start writing. And you'll either write it in your notebook or in your binder or in your Google Doc. Okay? So I'm going to give you about 10 minutes for you to do that. And then we'll come back together. You can pause the video and then come back and let's discuss it. All right. I'm sure you had some great discussions with your friends, or if you were by yourself, I'm sure you were really thinking about photosynthesis and how this is going to affect the plants. So, what do you think would happen to the plant by the windowsill and the plant under the box? What do you write down? And this will be your time to share again. So I am sure that if you thought about it, you realized that if you put water in the plants, right, and the plants had air to grab the carbon dioxide, the one by the window, what this plant was missing was what? What was the plant under the box missing? The sunlight, exactly. So I'm sure that this plant is not going to grow, is not going to make as much glucose as the plant that is by the sun. And that would be your explanation. Well, the plant would not grow as much, the plant might not be as green because there is no sunlight available, and plants need sunlight, water, carbon dioxide, and chlorophyll to make glucose, to make their own food. Yes? All right. Well, I'm glad that you're understanding this process well. And now I have another situation for you. I'm going to grab the plant that I have here on the window. I'm going to put them right here again. Same plants, okay? And I'm going to give you another situation. Are you ready? Okay. So I have a little bag over here. I have a little bag. And pretend that I have a lot of these little bags, okay? And I am going to put a bag on each leaf. Let me see if I can put this leaf inside this bag. This leaf inside this bag, excuse me. And then I'm going to put a bunch of little bags on all the leaves, okay? A bunch of little bags on all the leaves. So the plant will look like a bag plant, like an orange bag plant, okay? And I'm not going to put anything on the other one, okay? The other one is going to be exactly as I bought it. Okay? And I'm going to put them in the same place. I'm going to put them by the sun. Okay? I'm going to put water every day in the plants. The only difference is that all the leaves in this plant are inside a little bag. And this one does not have any bags. So my question to you again is, what do you think would happen? What do you think would happen? And explain your reasoning. Why do you think that would happen? Okay, so now it is your time. If you are in a breakout room, this is your time to discuss. If you are by yourself, this is your time to think about it and look through your notes. If you are in a classroom, then talk with your classmates, and you can pause the video and come back. Welcome back. All right. So I'm sure that you have some great discussions going on and some great writing, because scientists observe and they take notes. I mean, they do many other things, but those are two things that scientists must do. Observe, or watch, see, look, and take notes. So what do you think would happen? Well, if we go back to the process of photosynthesis, we know that plants take the sunlight and they take the carbon dioxide through their leaves. So if the leaves were inside bags, I am sure that this plant is not going to be as healthy as the one that had no bags. Because if all the leaves, even though the sunlight was hitting the plant, if all the leaves are covered, the leaves is where the plants take in the carbon dioxide from the air and the sunlight from the sun. So this plant is not going to be making as much food. Therefore, it's going to be less green and it's going to be not as tall as the other one. Okay? So you would assess something like the plant that has the bags on the leaves is not going to be as healthy. It might be less green. It's not as tall because, and that's where your justifying comes, because the leaves are covered and they're not able to capture the sunlight nor the carbon dioxide. Okay? Perfect. All right, good job, boys and girls. And I just want to remind you, even though this was not part of our experiment or our little demonstration, what do plants give off during that process of photosynthesis that humans and animals need so much, that we need to survive? We could not be alive without it. Do you remember what it is? It is a gas. Do you remember? That's right, oxygen. So we give them carbon dioxide and they give us oxygen. We have a great relationship. Plants cannot live without us and we cannot live without them. So we have to take care of them. We have to take good care of our plants, our trees, okay? So thank you so much. Let's now go back to our learning target. So it was, I can apply what I learned about photosynthesis to a real life situation. So did we do that? We surely did. We looked at the plants, we looked at two different situations, and then we applied the knowledge that we have about photosynthesis to our two situations. Remember, our test is coming next, and I'm sure that you're going to do a great job. And I would recommend that you go back to your notes and look through all those notes that we have taken together so that you can review for the test. And I just know that you are going to do an awesome job on that test. So thank you, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye. Have a great day.